Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey podcast, episode 285. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Jason. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, good, man. Good. Long time no talk to you.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Oh, man. It's good. This is good. Here we are. We're Thanksgiving already. Can you believe that?
Oh, my God.
Right?
I can't believe that.
Around the freaking corner.
It's the time is just traveling fast.
We got our holiday gift guide coming up here.
Yeah.
We've got a special guest that's no stranger to the podcast.
No stranger to podcasting at all.
We've got some good stories coming up too, so this is going to be good. You got any housekeeping or anything we got to get out of the way first? Because I think this is going to take a little bit.
Nothing new from the in the queue for voicemails or reviews, so I think we're good.
Did you cut off the laughing gas in your room? Are you good there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was hopefully the listeners enjoyed the blooper reel at the end of the episode. Perfect. It was a little Wheeling Wine and Whiskey uncut right there.
It's always uncut. I love it. All right, well, without further ado, let's get our special guest online here. Let's see. Lorenzo? Oh, he's giving me the high hoof. He's in the studio.
Super producer.
Holy smokes. He's doing a good job. He's actually stepping it up again. I think he wants something for Christmas.
Oh, wait. I got to get my checklist out for the number of times this gentleman's been on the show.
Okay. You work on that. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce none other than the one and only world famous Ultra 4 Jones, Kevin Jones. How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back, Carter.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Woo, man.
Good to see you, Kevin. Nice hair.
It's it's funny because in the past I would just call Kevin directly to get him online, and now I have to go through agents and shit. I mean, what's going on there, Kevin? You just got so much fame and celebrityness now with all this YouTube stuff.
A lot to filter out. It's easier to just have your people call my people.
Right. I used to joke around, have your people call my people, but now it's a real thing. No. No, man. Congrats. You just got off Las Vegas, the SEMA, and prior to that in Arizona. Did you see Mike and Max in Arizona when you were out traveling around the backcountry there?
No, there were definitely some Arizona peeps, so kind of hit me up like, let's run some trails. I'm like, I'm pretty tight schedule.
Yeah, so you were the wild card in the OnX Offroad Challenge, which was super cool.
Right.
So we'll get into that. Man, yeah, and then we're going to get some updates. So I don't know. We should dive into a little Kevin Jones update here before we get into a holiday gift guide. How about that? Yeah. So, your ADD kicked in and you took this Bronco that you There's quite a story with this Bronco. So I think the last time we talked to you, you had just gotten back from that trip going back east, sight unseen Bronco. You and Mallory fly out with a bag of tools and drove this thing back to California, all the way across the United States.
Yeah, didn't use a single tool either.
I know, that's amazing.
Pretty much what I remember.
And so then you had this with intentions. You bought this with intentions of like fixing it up for. Was it going to be for Mallory? Was it going to be for the kids?
That sounds really premeditated, or gives me a lot of credit. It was actually just a lot dumber than that. At some point, I signed up on Facebook after we bought the black Bronco for my daughter. I signed up for a Broncos for sale or trade group on Facebook. And that's really horrible because instead of like a radius or local to you, it's everything that's on Facebook, including a Bronco for sale in Alabama. So,
Alabama.
I fell in love with the thing before I even realized how far away it was. So yeah, we bought it and drove it home, and everybody kind of knows that adventure. But the sales pitch I gave Mallory was, hey, I think it's worth way more in California. It's our anniversary. Why don't we kind of do a repeat of something we've done, pre-kids a long time ago? Why don't we do a road trip on a car we bought and just have an adventure? And then when we get home, I'll sell it for more money, and that'll pay for the trip. And I think she knows better now and knows that was all BS. But she liked the idea of a road trip and a week with me, which is not something she gets very often. So
we've known you for 5 years, and she's known you for quite a bit longer. So I think she'd have figured it out by now.
Yeah. Exactly. In my head, I already kind of thought I had a whole week of driving it home to think wow, it'd be kind of cool if I took that Power Stroke drivetrain out of that wrecked truck and put it in here. But at the same time, I'm thinking I don't have the time for that. And, life's just so crazy anyway. And there's so many other things I need to be doing, and I don't need to be doing that. I don't need to be doing that. But then I got home, put the Bronco for sale. Nobody bought it. I didn't get anybody to even come over and look at it. And so then the OnX thing came up, and knowing Holly Fowler, Mischief Maker, I reached out to her and I said, hey, do you think this is something I should apply for? Or do I know too much? Am I not truly the average Joe or whatever that they're looking for? And she said, she's like, I wouldn't worry at all about whether you think you're right or wrong. She's like, put in for it and just see what happens. So yeah, that was the pitch, was combine the two, and that was going to be my wild card entry. And then the next 2 months and 10 days was chaos.
So the concept was obviously cool, and it turned out cool, but during the building process, were you regretting your decision at all, or was it pretty straight? I mean, I know you had some hurdles, obviously, with any build, but were you this was a stupid idea?
It was, no, I would say
it seemed to go together pretty good.
It honestly felt like a really natural project that had a really good pace and progression to it. There were a couple hiccups along the way. There were some problems that I wanted to build really cool suspension, but I knew I didn't have the money to do it. So how do I build, you have to do something about the TTB front end, but
sure,
I don't have the money to do the rear end right. So how do you do it kind of good enough? And, ended up finding that a shackle flip was a good compromise to get me halfway there in the rear. And so it there was a little bit of cutting corners and doing things on an accelerated timeline just because that's what had to happen. But no, I mean, I think what everybody saw was, because I would say the number one comment was, you're moving really quickly, or that happened so fast, or I can't believe you got it done so quick. And it truly was. I mean, it was 2 months and 10 days from the time we pulled the drivetrain out of the Bronco to the time I took it for a test drive. And that was calendar time. So that included days I went to work, and, everything had to do with the family. I went to Utah and helped Holly for a couple of days.
Right.
There were a lot of things that happened in 2 months and 10 days. It wasn't just all work days. So it actually went about as smooth as it looked. I don't feel like that was a smoke and mirrors project or anything like that.
No, you had it very well documented on your Chasing 518 YouTube channel.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was fun to follow along, and I was like, holy crap, this is coming together really nice. And I know you don't, cut stuff out that's unrealistic or whatever, right? Oh, I screwed this up or whatever. You kept all that stuff in. It was cool. You brought Mallory, and I know Chris was really happy to see her on the video screen. But you got the kids, you got your dad in there, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest, I think that's part of this conversation is what people are seeing, from the outside looking in is changing. Obviously everything was just super race centric. It was me and the car, but trying to look at what could pay the bills essentially is what does that look like? How is that done? What are the people doing that are successful doing it? And I've put a lot more effort into YouTube lately, and I think that shows, and people can see that. And it shows to me, based on the analytics and stuff. And it's basically, I used to look at YouTube as like, hey, I'm going to make a video where I, build a whatever, a suspension, a this, a that. And that's literally what I filmed and what I edited and what I uploaded. But what I was missing was that that's not what people want to watch. What people want is a story. They want to be told a story. So the Bronco and the OnX thing, that provided me the opportunity to tell a story. And my dad and my wife and my kids and the people that help me, they're part of that story.
Of course.
I've really changed the way that I film and I edit. And I think it's starting to make more sense to me that, the idea here is people have replaced TV shows with YouTube. And what does every TV show have? It has a story every episode. It has a cast. It has all these things. So that's really kind of the format I've been kind of playing with here the last, whatever it's been, 3 months. And it seems to be, working. It's not like quit my job type success, but it's definitely been a marked improvement.
Trending that direction. Yeah, that's cool. So I think I know the answer to this question, but what was the most hate mail, messages, shade that you got during the project?
Yeah, I mean, there was one recently.
Because players gonna play, haters gonna hate.
I try to wrap my head around this, and by that I mean I think pick a percentage of the population that's just not gonna like you, whatever it is you do, whoever you are. Pick that percentage. Well, as the audience, at a small audience, that's only 1 or 2 people at 1%. But as the audience grows, it's more people. So I'm getting a larger influx of like you said, hate, and it's hard because I'm not trying to turn folks off. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to create hate. I'm just trying to create content and value and entertainment. And so it's always interesting to me when somebody pops up in a hateful way, because I'm like, whoa, bro, show me on the doll where I hurt you.
Well, it's just funny because if they don't like the show, they have the opportunity to just turn the channel,
something else.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting, and I like to study whether it's comments or just DMs, and I like to pick people's brains. A lot of times somebody will be like, hey, I love the video, and I'll reply, what didn't you like about the video? Help me make it better. So I'm always kind of looking at analytics from the people that I feel like are paying attention. But it is interesting to me when somebody just comes out with a whole bunch of hate, because I'm like, where did that come from? What part of what I'm putting out on the internet upset you so much that you wanted to reach out and say something disrespectful or hurtful or otherwise. And I think you have to accept that some people are just keyboard warriors, and that's
for sure. They're called trolls.
Yeah, it was cold in their mom's basement that day, and they were just upset about it, so they fired off. But
what I was inferring was cutting out the WFO logo on the truss.
Oh, okay. Sorry, there've been a few since.
But it all comes with that growing the channel and everything. But I thought that was the
WFO one was pretty funny. So for those that didn't see it, I bought an axle truss from WFO because looking at all the choices on the internet, whether it was Artec or WFO or whoever, I thought aesthetically theirs looked the best. It looked the most like what I wanted to use, but I just didn't like the fact that while it was on their plasma table or whatever, they cut a giant WFO in it. Mm-hmm. And I knew where that was going to be on the finished product. And I was like, I don't want to look at that every day. That's not just what I want to do. I don't want to have this giant hole in the front of my truss with these 3 letters. So I cut it out and I plated it in, and I showed that process. And it definitely triggered a couple of folks that, how dare you do that? And I couldn't wrap my head around that, because to me, that's the essence of hot rod culture, is you don't like the way something looks and you make it look the way you want it to look when it's on your car.
Yes.
That was weird to me, but I guess that company should be grateful that they have loyal followers and friends like that would defend them at any and all costs, even if it's not truly like an offensive behavior.
Yeah, and you had no ill intentions of doing it. It wasn't like, oh, FWFO, whatever, but it was just you wanted a clean look and not, obviously if they were a huge sponsor, you would put WFO all over the damn thing if that was the deal. Yeah. But yeah, you're like...
Yeah, that was one for sure. And there's, I guess what I was thinking more of was a little bit more recently, a DM and stuff that kind of just got me thinking about stuff. And I've, up until this point, so 5 years of messing around on social media with whatever I'm doing and telling my story and marketing and all that, I've never blocked anybody. But like, I can now say that I've started that process. And there've been a few people on the radar for a while, and I just let them keep existing, because I just was like, hey, you know what? Any feedback is good feedback, and no such thing as bad PR and all that. But like, I don't know that I have the time or energy to try to make everybody happy. And I think at some point I have to just accept that, like you said, whatever haters are going to hate. And I just need to focus my time on, the people that send me positive messages.
It's a
now
drain.
I know why I don't get any messages from you anymore. You guys have been blocked.
He got blocked.
Awkward.
Chris got blocked.
Awkward.
No, it is. And you can't please everybody, and it's not for everybody, whatever you're doing. I mean, God, I know that all too well, being at a country club and trying to keep 400 members and their wives happy, and impossible. But it's toxic. It can get toxic, and then it can get mentally draining. And it's like, dude, you just got it. You go away. Just move on. Obviously, we're not going to agree, and we're just going to move on. And this never used to be an issue before social media. Now social media, all these random people can chime in,
hide behind a screen.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. They say stuff or type stuff that they would never say to your face, and that's the bullshit part of it. It's like, most of our people in the 4-wheel drive community have no problem saying whatever online and in your face, but there's the other crowd that hides behind, like you say, in their mom's basement, and it got a little cold that day and they were irritated. There was no meatloaf.
Oh my God, with bacon.
Yeah, there's just been more of it more of it lately than ever before, and I don't feel like I've changed my morals and ethics or standards or anything like that. So all I can figure is like I said, as the audience grows, if whatever 5% of them are haters, there's more in that 5% group now, and I don't have the time and energy for it. So I think those people they'll just get blocked as they pop up.
Keep your eye on the prize.
I talked to I heard a good perspective the other day. Somebody that has a lot lot larger audience than I do said something, and I said, "Hey, do you block people like much? Is that like a thing?" And their response was, "Oh, I block the F out of people." and the follow up was, "Nobody is going to be mean to me on the phone that I pay for." And
well, there you go.
I thought, oh, that's actually like a really simple, good, like way of looking at it. Is
absolutely,
this is my time and my money that I'm spending to be here on this space and this platform and look at this screen. Like I'm not going to pay for this. Like,
no,
bye-bye.
Yep. No, that's rabbit trail there we went down, but yeah, that's good insight. Uh, and that's all part of this whole social media stuff, especially growing as you have. But there's a lot more positives than those
Oh
little
yeah.
5%
Oh
of the
yeah.
negatives there.
Big time.
Getting
for sure.
Getting to have that opportunity to go on that OnX challenge. I know you were excited, but I mean, what was your, expectations going into it? And then when you completed it, what was it like? Oh, that's exactly how I thought, or like, oh my God, this is way cooler than I thought, or that was kind of dumb. I shouldn't have wasted my time on that.
There's yeah, so going into it, I was, like you said, excited and optimistic, and it was easy to not worry about that because I had a vehicle to build, and up until the day I left, I was still working on the vehicle. So I didn't really spend a lot of time wondering what the actual experience was going to be like. I just focused on I have to get there. And then, tried to explain to Mallory because she agreed to not just agreed to, I guess she wanted to, spend time with her husband for the week and be on this adventure. And I told her, I said, I don't know what production is going to look like. We've never gone and filmed like a TV show or anything before. So I said, I don't know if we're going to be doing like 14-hour days. And this is going to be really, just not fun, and we get up at 6 and we go to bed at 10. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like. And she's like, no, it's all good. Whatever it is, it is. But what was really nice to find out pretty much instantaneously once we got there was, Ian Johnson, who was hired to host and produce the show.
Right.
He's been doing automotive television for how long? Decades, right?
Long time.
So I felt like he had a really good understanding of what was attainable every day. And I feel like his schedule was very, easy to meet. So it wasn't long production days. They'd roll into the dark, a little bit when we're on the trail and stuff like that. But it just wasn't crack of dawn till late at night. And, there's always a camera in your face and everything's like, it was super, super easy to just be a part of the production.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When does the first episode come out?
I think it's soon. They showed us kind of a rough draft of episode 1 while we were at SEMA. So I feel like it's probably gonna show up on YouTube real soon. I don't know if it's gonna be like a week or what, but they're gonna make 3 episodes out of our trip, and they'll all be on OnX Offroad's YouTube channel. And then obviously, like myself and the other channels that were a part of it have been putting out our own episodes. And, mine have been centered more around the event. And then other people's have been more centered maybe around the vehicle they built and how it performed. So everybody's kind of like approaching the story they're telling a little bit differently. And that was cool for us to see too, because Mallory and I don't feel like we know how to YouTube. So it was good for us to watch the other channels like film in the moment, and now we're going to watch all their episodes together and kind of see what we can learn about how they're telling their story and how they've chosen to document the event or the time we all spent out there, because we could easily be doing what we're doing better.
Yeah.
Well,
how was it
to learn?
Yeah, how was it meeting all the other people that were the other competitors? Because I know you watch their channels, and then you actually get to hang with them and see them on a normal level, or just get to wheel with them, and compete against them.
Right. They were all who they portray themselves on their channels.
So they were genuine.
So, yeah, they were genuine. Like, I didn't feel like anybody behaved differently when the camera was off than when they were on. So if you follow any of those Fab Rats, Bleep and Jeep, Holly, whoever, that was who they seemed to be to me. So that was cool that it wasn't, a different, or it wasn't, that their channel isn't like a show or anything like that. And it was cool to take somebody that you think you look up to, like a Paul from Fab Rats, and then meet him and spend a week with him and see what he's about and how he can mechanically do things and drive and all that, and then walk away and have even more respect for him and go, that guy's the real deal. Like, you know, Paul from Fab Rats is like, he is a legit gearhead. Like, the guy knows what he's doing and how to do it. And, you know, I walked away with a ton of respect for him, you know, as one example, not to say that the others weren't also, but
No, but that's, I mean, what a cool to be put in that environment, you know, and have that opportunity to sit around a campfire at night and people let their hair down and be themselves and, you know, cameras rolling or not. But
yeah, Ian's hair still stays up at the campfire. It doesn't really come down. But when he drinks whiskey, yes, his inhibitions come down.
Oh, yeah.
His guard drops, and the stories get really, really good. So the campfire talks with Ian were pretty epic.
He's a great storyteller too. He's got a lot of great stories. He's done a lot of cool shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's awesome. And the Bronco kicked ass. I know you can't get into specifics, but I mean, to drive it to literally finish spinning wrenches minutes before you left to go to Arizona, and then a few minor issues, and then drove it to Vegas and then home from Vegas. That's how many miles roughly?
And drove it to work after that. I think by the time I drove to SEMA, we did 1,300 miles. And then by the time I got home, it was like, I don't know, like 1,800 or something. Definitely put some, I mean, but the first run to Tucson was 620 miles right off the jack stands. So we took it the day before we left. My dad and I drove it to the gas station just to like put fuel in it and make sure, like, I don't know, it went that far.
Does it run?
Yeah. So, hey, if it's good for the gas station, it must be good for Arizona.
Yeah. Literally drove it to the gas station and back, and then put the bumpers on it and wired the winch, and then put all the stickers on it, and then loaded all our stuff in it, and we left. And I had a fuel leak that showed up after it was like hot for several hours in the night. But luckily it's diesel and not gasoline, so little fuel leak just kind of moisturized the bottom of the Bronco a little bit. So
lubricate.
Not the end of the world. Little rust preventative. But yeah, I mean it. And that's what's crazy is like, I feel like really petty when I'm like, oh, it's got a rattle in the door, and I wished I'd had the tires balanced and stuff like that. Because I mean, there's people that there's professional YouTube channels that didn't even get their vehicles done.
Right.
And not only did I get mine done, but I drove it all the way there. So tickled pink or whatever expression you want to use. The Bronco absolutely crushed it. Super proud of it and what my dad and I and my friends and everybody. I mean, it came out really cool. Well, I had a vision in my head, but I don't like pay for artist renditions of this stuff, and I don't map a lot of this out. I just kind of know what I think I kind of sort of want it to be like, and for it to all come together and have the the height, the stance, the curb appeal, the graphics package, like it all just came out really, really good.
So you said before that when you got back from the original trip, buying it in Alabama and driving across country, and you said you tried to sell it and you didn't have any nibbles on it whatsoever. Are people throwing money at you now for the way it's built?
Yeah.
I've definitely had a few people like do the like, hey, if you ever sell that thing, let me know. We haven't talked numbers, but what is what is the labor rate on like 26 days of building? It would take a pretty penny to convince me to move on from it. And honestly, like I feel like with the YouTube channel and the growth and all that, like I kind of need that flagship vehicle that I feel like probably actually got the channel moving in the right direction. Even though the channel, I started a couple of years ago for like the race car stuff. I've really never made any growth with the channel. I never took it serious until this Bronco. So I think, and it's why I put like the Chasing 518 on the door of the Bronco. as like a shop truck kind of logo. Is my plan is basically this thing, you'll see it like around. It'll be on the channel. It'll, if I go check out another vehicle for sale, I'll probably be driving the Bronco. If we go, off-roading and camping and stuff, it'll be there. I'm sure it'll be my get around vehicle at King of the Hammers. Like it's going to be a part of the channel. Hopefully it's recognizable. I think,
sure.
By the time all these episodes come out and OnX's stuff comes out, like I would imagine it's going to be a very recognizable, vehicle in any sort of
cool
off-road environment. So I'll keep it for sure. And then, I was even telling a couple people, my dad was there with me every single day that we worked on this thing. At some point, I won't, like, Dad won't be around, and I hate to sound like sad that way or whatever, but maybe I look back and be like, this is the vehicle my dad and I built together. Like, I don't know how many more of those we're going to have. So it could very much so be a really important vehicle, I guess, to me.
Well, yeah. And I pointed that out to you, that it's super cool that you documented that, right? Like, you and your dad working on this thing amongst other people and family, first there. And I'm like, I got some pictures and stuff of my dad and I working on stuff, but no video. And it would have been super cool to have that documented. And then, like, as your girls get older, they can look back on that and go, oh, Grandpa, and there's Dad doing all this stupid shit. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
That's why we didn't go to college. There's all the money for college that Dad was spending.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh boy. But no,
you're here on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
But it's cool, the content. And it's like, just like this silly podcast, who knows? We're going into our 5th year or whatever, but how long is this going to be out on the airwaves or listenable, right? Like, if Chris becomes super famous, ultra famous, senator, vice president of the United States or something, and he, they can go back and listen to all these episodes. But
I think that would disqualify me if they listen to these episodes.
It's a different world now to have that. I mean, how many in our era, we have VHS tapes that, if they don't get transferred over to DVDs, which what are DVDs now, and get transferred over to iCloud or whatever, it's like, where is it? But this stuff's living on the web now, which is super accessible to a bunch of people. And that's...
Yeah, it's forever.
Yeah. Yep. Evergreen content.
Evergreen. That's right.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. So the event, can you share any stories, highlights, or anything that doesn't, because they haven't come out with the first episode yet, but
well, it's funny. So, like, I asked, I think at some point at the end of the adventure, or maybe during the SEMA week, I asked, hey, are we allowed to put out content from the event, or do we have to wait until OnX releases theirs? And Ian got us like an official answer from OnX, and it was, you can share content, but we don't want you to give away like the winners of individual challenges or competition or anything like that. And so, like, the first video I put out from day one at Tucson Dragway, like, I made a point to edit out all the like winning. Mm-hmm. And now I've been watching everybody else's videos and they're just showing it all. So I'm like, well, okay, well, I guess I was a little more worried about the legal team than they, I needed to be. So no, I think by the time, this episode comes out and everything, like, I think it's all fair game. So, I told Mallory when we were going there that I had a couple of goals. One was just to be easy so that, be on time, have a good attitude, like all those things, and just be easy to work with, really, so that if somebody from like an OnX, let's say, was looking or watching, just go, hey, we might want to have them back next year and actually pay them to be here or something like that. And then I didn't think we could win the whole competition because of just the way the votes were structured. And, you're up against like a popularity contest against, like a Fab Rats that has 600,000 subscribers. So I just said, well, we can't win the whole thing, but let's win at least one of the individual challenges or competitions just to show that, like, we deserve or belong here, type of thing. So I think we represented well. I think when people, watch the content, they'll realize that, old Bluey freaking laid it down on day one. So,
That's
yeah,
cool.
it was good. I mean, I accomplished all of my, individual goals, I guess, for the trip.
Good.
And then you ended up at wonderful Las Vegas for the SEMA show.
Well, I want to interject real quick before.
Oh, go.
Just out of curiosity, what was your backup plan if something went sideways with the rig?
Well, okay, so yeah, that points to. So here I am, every day posting content on IG and the weekly YouTube build videos and all this stuff. And to me, again, this is one of those like assumptions, right? It's clear in my head, so I assume it's clear to everybody else, even if maybe I've never said it. We were going to finish the Bronco and get in it and drive it to Tucson. And as soon as I posted it, loaded up in the driveway, ready to hit the road, the amount of DMs I got that were, "You're driving it?" Question mark, exclamation, or like, "Aren't you going to trailer it?" And I was like, well, no. And honestly, it's really easy for me. Number one, I don't have a trailer strong enough to carry this thing. And two, I took parts off the tow rig just to finish the Bronco. Right. So no, I'm not towing it. So that got us out the door. And a lot of people were like, "That's nuts. Like, you just had the body off, did a drivetrain swap, built a front suspension from scratch, all these things, right?" And they're like, "And you're just going to drive it." And I'm like, well,
drove it to the gas station and send it.
Yeah. So that was like number one, I think, awareness that people are like, or at least that maybe I was like, gosh, am I dumber than I think I am? Like, is everybody right? Like, is this stupid? But I was like, well, I don't know. It is what it is, right? We have AAA, like we got a credit card and we got the, the power of the internet. Like we could probably figure this out. So that really was the plan. And even my dad was like, well, I'll come get you like truck and trailer if you need it. And I'm like, Dad, we don't own we don't have a trailer big enough to put this on. Like just don't even worry about that, cause he's like, well, I'll come get you. Like, how, like with what? So yeah, I didn't have a backup plan. It was just to enjoy the adventure. And, it's not like we were traveling into the Arctic or something.
No. Right. But that's one of the
environmental conditions. So
that's one of the things I envy about you, Kevin, is you're just throwing it out there and just letting it ride, and I don't have that gene in me at all. So it's kind of, I envy you.
Well, I just think you're not stupid enough, Chris. That's all it is.
He's more calculated. Well, I'll tell you, I have this summer did a lot of trips and wheeling, and there was stuff I was looking at the buggy, and I'm like, oh, I need to change that or do that. And the old Jason would have, jumped right on that, got that fixed, and then I'm like, well, what would Kevin Jones do? He would just, and that's what I've been doing, and it's been working out great.
There you go.
So you're onto something.
You're welcome.
So that kind of leads me to ask about Chase 518. So you said you took parts off your white truck, your tow rig. So that's non-operational right now because Bluey's doing its thing?
Yeah, it'll be back shortly. I had to take 2 nights before we left, I had to steal the front brake hoses off it because the ones I ordered for Bluey weren't long enough. And the ones on my truck are mega long. So I took the front brake hoses off. And then the night before I left, when I finally made Bluey 4-wheel drive, that was the other part. I put bumpers on, winch, and then I finally made a front drive shaft. I failed to remember this whole time that the factory yoke on that Dana 60 that I used was actually a 1330 yoke and not a 1350.
Oh.
And I was using a Super Duty drive shaft that I was shortening. So I had to steal the 1350 yoke off my truck that, I had upgraded at some point years ago and just honestly kind of forgotten about. So I ordered another one of those from Yukon the other day. It'll probably be home when I get home from work. And then I still need to figure out the brake hose thing because the ones I ordered for my truck have like doubled in price since I bought them. And it just seems kind of ridiculous to spend that much on 2 brake hoses, but I'll figure that out.
Perfect. Got a hydraulic shop near you?
Yeah, there's a place that I'll see if they can make them. It's kind of weird because like the one fitting is like a T fitting, and just to do it clean and kind of factory it, need a couple of specialty fittings on the ends. But we can figure it out.
Cool. That's all I wanted to kind of circle back on. So
yeah,
right on. Very cool.
Yeah. So ended up at SEMA, your first time at SEMA. So what were your takeaways from SEMA 2024?
I went into it really just kind of knowing like, hey, I'm not going to get it right on my first try. And just like I started notes in my phone of like, okay, what do I need to bring or do differently for SEMA if I come back, assuming I do more of this type of stuff. How do you do SEMA quote right? And I think with just that mindset of like not thinking like, oh, I'm bringing a vehicle and every booth I go up to, I'm going to be like, hey, I don't know if you know me, but I got this vehicle outside, like you should totally work with me. So just kind of knowing that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't necessarily even know how to talk to people, what I should be doing. Like, am I talking business or am I just trying to, look at products and round up business cards? Like, no clue. So I didn't have any expectations, and I came away with, I don't know, 4 to 6 contacts that I will follow up with. And if they turn into something, then I'll say, you could ask me in a month and I'll be like, oh, SEMA was incredibly valuable and very worth it because it put all these, pieces of the puzzle in place for me. But if those 4 to 6 people ghost me and I never hear from them again, then I'll be like, SEMA was kind of so-so,
Right.
I've been telling people that, to me, there's 3 people that go to SEMA. There's the person that just gets a badge through a friend of theirs and they just walk around as a spectator and they're super excited and they just, everything's amazing and it's all great and they had a good time. Right.
Yeah.
And then there's the other end of the spectrum that it's like, maybe you're like a Von Gittin Jr. or something, and every company you work with is paying you to be there. You have all these obligations, you have signing times, you have corporate parties, you have all these things, right? And that's the other end. And then there's like me, who I'm not there just to look at cars. I've seen a lot of cars in my life, but I'm also a nobody, and I have no parties to go to, and I have no signings, and all that. But yet, I would still like to make some business, contacts and relationships out of this. So how do you navigate that path? And I learned a lot. I spent some time with Holly while I was there, and she was cool about it because she's like, this is my 4th year, and she's like, I'm finally feel like I even belong at SEMA, and that was kind of good to hear because I felt like I did not belong at SEMA. I was like, I don't know hardly anybody. Nobody's really interested in why I'm here or what I'm doing. I had a good time, and it was cool for my dad and I to kind of, when we were outside by the Bronco, share it with people that would walk up and ask questions, or maybe they'd already been following online and they wanted to see it in person. And so I think that was a fun part for both of us to just kind of share what we had just slaved away on for so long with other people. But
yeah, the context there was my big takeaway this year. We've gone numerous times, and pre-COVID, when it was like absolutely ginormous, like trying to digest it in 3 days was almost impossible.
Yeah.
To where it was more manageable this year, coming back, from the video online, whatever they did during COVID, to the last few years they've had it again in Las Vegas, and it's getting back, but it's probably like 65% of what it used to be, I would say. But for me, it was like, it's the people and talking to the people that I got to meet over the years and getting to, catch up with them and share some ideas and whatever. Like you say, it's like, hey, how's the podcast doing? Oh yeah, podcast's going good. Looking for a sponsor. Come on over. Whatever. But that was cool. That was cool. And I had a little bit, or a really different experience this year, being in a booth, that I've never done before at SEMA. And it's great having people come to you and actually have a really cool product that people are interested in and stuff. So that was fun. So got to hang out with a lot of different people, and Dave Wong came in the Thursday, our last day, and spent all day with him, and that was a lot of fun getting him up to speed and everything. So yeah. So it's a good event, but then after the show, there's all these parties and stuff, and of course the Vegas nightlife and hanging out in Elvis Presley's suite and all that stuff. So there's just a bunch of random shit going on at night there.
Yeah, we and it's funny. I have literally, I think, have the 12-year-old boy brain or whatever, where one of the corporate parties that I don't know if we were invited or we crashed or what, but like one company rented out all of K1 Speed, the go-kart place in Vegas. And we showed up and I was like, wait, you mean like they're paying for everything, And I instantly signed up for like a race. And the people I was there with, I was like, you guys aren't signing up? And they're like, no, we're not going to race go-karts. Like, what are you, 12? And I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For free? So, racing go-karts? Yes. And for free? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I would have stayed there all night and driven go-karts. But like, we got done with one race, because I had to like wait my turn or wait for them to call my group or whatever. And then we got done with that. And I was going to go sign up for another. And they were like, "Can we go now?" And I was like, "We gotta go. Why do you guys want to leave? Like, I just want to drive go-karts." To go to. Yeah, and they're like, "No, you're supposed to be like schmoozing with people." And I'm like, "No, I'm here to put people into the wall." Okay. So it was. I just don't have like the best business mindset. I'm not cut out to just go to cocktail parties and blow smoke up people's skirts,
Right. But that's, those opportunities are there in Vegas. So.
One of the funnest things we did, I think it was the last night. So Bleep and Jeep, Matt from, who is Bleep and Jeep.
Yeah.
I guess it's an annual tradition for him at SEMA. He gets a bunch of friends together in the Midway, like the carnival games at Circus Circus.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, like, I knew he was doing that, but I didn't know he paid for it all. So he loaded a bunch of the gaming cards with like hundreds of dollars of his own money and then just handed them out to us. And we had like an air hockey tournament. And
my God.
I mean, we played every Midway game. We were probably in the Midway for like, we shut the Midway down. They were literally turning games off as we would walk away from them.
Really?
I don't know that. What? That's Vegas. It's 24/7. They don't.
Apparently not the Midway. So
not Circus.
But we all got all these big dumb stuffed animals that we're wondering what we're gonna do with and stuff. But it was so fun. It was super low key. Everybody was having a great time. So that was honestly for me like a really fun way to just kind of close it out.
Should have ripped open all the stuffed animals to see if they even had diamonds in them.
Is that a thing?
Or cocaine?
Come on, man. James Bond, diamonds are forever.
All right.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, well, you're just showing your age, Chris.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
There it is.
Well, all right.
That's cool. It's what a whirlwind of a deal, man. Just holy smokes. Nonstop.
Yeah, it was 3 consecutive weeks that was really gnarly. Basically 1 week of thrashing and finishing the Bronco, just kind of that home stretch. And then a week of Arizona with Mallory and the whole show thing and all that. And then Mallory flew home when we got to Vegas because somebody in our family had to be an adult.
Right.
Apparently we have children that need attention and all these things. So she flew home and then my dad came out for SEMA. And then SEMA was that 3rd week. So it was a long 3 weeks. I mean, it was a lot, from the physical side and then the activity side and then the whole show side. So it was a whirlwind, but I mean, just a super cool, I mean, it started as, like I said, just a dumb idea. Like Holly reposted this whole wild card thing and, a contest to make a submission video, and to look back that was just like a dumb thought, a few months ago of, hey, should I put in for this? And then to get chosen to build the vehicle, to go do it, to go to SEMA, to, meet all these other people from the channels, and it's really crazy. Like I feel like I just did like a year's worth of new and exciting and money spending. I feel like I did a year's worth in like the last 3 months. So it's really cool experience.
Now you got to go back to work to pay the bills.
Yep.
And good to have the foresight, because I know you threw out there on the IG. It's like, well, should I start building this thing? Should I wait to see if I get in? And you're like, no, I got to build this thing. But I think in the back of your mind, you wanted to build it regardless, just not on an accelerated time frame.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's, and somebody, I think at work even said, like, if it wasn't for the contest and the deadline, this would have just been a dream for, ever, until you would have sold one of the vehicles or both of them or whatever. And, you probably always would have just wondered if, what it had been like if you actually built it. So that it really was kind of just the catalyst that I needed to, like, hey, I had this idea when we drove the Bronco home. Now I've got the reason or the excuse or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I mean, the vehicles, it's so good. Like, it's so much fun.
And it's not finished because they're never finished. I know you got some more plans for it, but it'll be cool to watch that evolve.
Yeah, I think, one of the things I learned from, it was Robbie Layton. So he's the guy that built the Crazy Bread van. We were
the
just
bread
talking
truck.
YouTube. Yeah, we were talking YouTube stuff when we were out there. And he was talking about the lifespan of a project on a channel. And he's like, you'll be able to see it, and when people are done with it, you just push it outside and move on to the next one.
Wow.
So I'm curious how much bluey content people will like digest and tolerate. And I gotta feel like probably mostly because the story is like been told now and it's done what it needed to do and what it was built for and all that it can kind of just move into the background, which is kind of scary because now it's like, well, what's the next story? What am I going to live out on the channel next?
I don't know. You got to do some trails in that thing. You got to get it out on the Rubicon. That's more suitable than your tow rig out there.
Just
get it's, you got to have a workhorse in the stable that you can go out and go have some fun with, on trails and stuff. So
there's snow on the ground now, so you should be snow wheeling it pretty soon too.
Ooh, there you go.
Nope. I think Mallory and I have adopted the old Trail Chaser line for snow. Snow on the ground, turn around.
Oh God, come on. You got roll up windows and everything.
Heater,
doors.
Get heated seats installed and you'll be golden.
Shit.
It's great that people enjoy snow wheeling. It's not going to be for me.
I'm gonna get you out here on the snowmobile then and get you up in the Sierras.
That I could see that. I could see that as like a parallel to the dirt bike stuff, but I'm not interested in snow wheeling.
Okay. All right.
But
he's a beach guy.
Yeah, you'll see, you're right. The Bronco will do Rubicon next year, hopefully with, Mallory this time. And then like, it'd be a great I think it would fit at like a Sierra track on 4 dice.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think it could do a lot of things, with the exception of probably like the big rocks at Hammers, just because they would destroy the body. I'm not trying to make it look like a raisined up Toyota. But I think everything else, it could do. We could probably go do, Mojave Road or any number of adventure. It's probably a dumb idea because our motorhome is small, but I'm gonna try to flat tow it behind the motorhome.
Really?
Yeah, and I just don't know if it's gonna push the motorhome around too much. But there's only one way to find out.
Well, there you go.
With all the driving that you did you kind of get an idea what on the freeway, highway mileage, what your fuel economy is like on that thing?
No, the Speedo ended up, you can reprogram those OBS Ford Speedos, and I need to do that. But you actually have to like do some old school kind of math and like roll the circumference of the tire out on the ground. And anyway, it's like, I don't know, you need like an abacus.
Yeah, that's all right. Just use the app. There's plenty of GPS apps that tell you how far you're going.
Between the Speedo being off, so therefore it's recording mileage off, and then the fuel leak, I didn't even bother recording mileage, yet. because I figure it's not going to be accurate. And then honestly, like when you lift something that high and you put giant mud trains on it, like clearly you weren't worried about fuel mileage. So
Right.
No, I mean, is it, I just kind of ballpark. It was a 10, 15, 12, I don't know.
Yeah, I would guess. I mean, based on my truck, because it's honestly very similar to my truck in, frontal area and tire size and obviously the same engine and stuff. I'm going to guess it's probably like in that 15 zone, somewhere in the teens.
That's good.
That's respectable.
And it's super fun.
But what's cool is, I mean, all the wheeling we did, and I can't help but be proud of like how we did it, because a lot of those rigs showed up on the trailers. Fab Rats drove theirs, but like we drove it there with the AC on, the cruise control on, the Bluetooth radio playing. We did all the trails. We did the whole, the drag race, the obstacle course. Like we did all that. And then at the end of every day, we'd go back to rolling the windows up, turning the AC on, setting the cruise control, and, driving off to the next adventure. So it really is a driver. So even independently of fuel mileage and stuff, I mean, it's ready to obviously lay down the highway miles.
Yeah.
Ready to party.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool. And you got some shirts in the works, or are those going to be for sale, or what's going on with Bluey shirts?
Yeah, it's again
cool
being
logo.
being the bad businessman. Yeah, shout out to Turd Ferguson. Murphy's always down to
Brian
drop some artwork. He came up with like the Bluey idea, and we didn't know the name and how to do it, whatever. But I said I just need some cartoonish Bronco like rolling coal, and so he knocked that out. And then one of my neighbors put a twist on it, and they're like, "Why don't you do like red, white, and bluey? Because everybody loves patriotic." So that's where we kind of threw the American flag and all that stuff in there.
Sure.
So it is a fun little, themed, I guess, logo. And all I had time to do was make 2 shirts for Mallory and I to wear for the filming part of it. But I don't know if merchandise is a good idea in general for a platform of my size, because I don't know that I can actually sell enough of it to cover the costs of making it. So I'm a little conflicted on, is it time to set up, a Shopify account and have merchandise and all that, or should I just keep trying to grow and, build cars and stuff and then worry about that later? I don't know the answer to that, but I'd like to do merchandise, but to me right now, it feels like a headache and a time suck.
Yeah,
I don't have time for
there's ways of doing it. That's, as you've experienced with different shirt making options, but there's ways to do it, but I think you should do it. All right.
Jason wants
we'll
a
have
shirt.
An offline conversation about that. But okay, so we're almost an hour into this thing now, but I got to bring up the Hoonigan thing too. That just dropped too. That you did back in March with the old IFS IRS car that's sitting in your trailer there. That was a cool opportunity too.
Yeah. I have to be like really honest about that. People were like, "That's so cool. They invited you." No, they did not invite me. I was relentless with the people that do the like casting, I guess you would say.
Okay.
And I just was super persistent and like, "Hey, what about me? What about me? What about me? What about my car?" Like, I was just constantly like every week, knowing that they were trying to fill the next season. I was like, got this car. It's got a cool story. We crashed it. And I'm sending them the rollover video and all that stuff. So I think finally they were just like, "Look, if we let you be on the show, will you leave us alone?
Will you stop calling us?"
Yeah. So I said yes, and they're like, "Okay, fine." But that was really fun. We did that at the end of March, and we were sworn to that was the first thing I've probably done where you actually are signing like NDAs and stuff.
Sure.
Again, wasn't messing around. So they said, you can take all the pictures you want, you can do all that stuff, but you're not allowed to talk about it. You can't show any of the content. You can't do anything until we release your episode. And then Hoonigan went bankrupt.
Then they went bankrupt.
I was like, is it ever even going to air? Like, is this going to see light of day, or did it just get, round filed or what? But it finally obviously just came out, and it was cool. They did a good job. They got a lot of camera angles, and the interview was a lot longer than what they used, so they chop it down and make it a little bit more palatable for everybody. And it was a really fun experience. They weren't rooting for me. They were rooting for their local kid with his bug. They knew him. He that kid works for Blake Wilkie. And so he's way more tied into that whole community. And so he was the one they were rooting for. Please beat this guy that was super annoying. And, we didn't even want here, but we finally just let him be here. So please embarrass him. Right. And then I'm making all that up, by the way, but it's a good story. So, but what I really liked, though, was all the production staff and everybody, because Mallory and the girls were there. They were super nice to the family. They were super accommodating. They fed you lunch.
Nice.
They gave the girls, hats and swag and stuff. So it was a good experience for the girls to feel like Dad's really cool. Look at this cool thing that Dad gets to do, and he gets to be on this TV show. And so it was kind of a fun family moment where my girls were a little bit awestruck about, just what we were a part of. So it was fun. And it took forever for that episode to see light of day.
Yeah.
I think it'll be, the original thought was it was going to come out in the summer and I would use it as part of my 2025 sponsorship proposal to different companies, but it came out so late that it honestly didn't even, maybe in my opinion, have a lot of relevancy for trying to work some 2025 deals, but it's still cool regardless, and it's out there. So it's funny that it's stacked with the OnX stuff because everybody's like, man, he's everywhere. And it's
you did all that
there's
in
a lot of
weeks.
There's a lot of delay here that people don't, the production side of stuff is confusing for sure.
Oh yeah. Time traveling.
Well, it was good. It was fun watching that car through the whoops, man. It just ate them up. And that's where you gain, even when you had the delay, the bush start or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
anyway,
they're just trying to make TV.
Exactly, but it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, I made a couple passes in the whoops, or just driving through the whoops, and I was like, I still, it's you got to remember when I filmed that, and it's not honestly any different than today, but I don't have any seat time in that car. I still have not actually driven that car with some real miles in a real race or anything or done anything with repeatability. So I'm going through those whoops and I'm like, it feels under control in the car, but it also at the same time feels like it's really weird in that car to watch as the front tires come up. They come up past my line of sight. They come up over my head. They're in the horizon because you're so low in that car. And so to watch these 40s just bounce in front of you, it seems like that's a bad thing. But then, the counseling they're giving me, they're like, the one guy, he's like, dude, are you flat out in the whoops? And I'm like, no, I'm backing off because it just seems crazy, and he's like, it looks really good. He's like, I think you can just hold it wide open. In the whoops. And I was like, okay. I don't know, just again, lack of seat time. Like Holly says, seat time.
Seat time is everything. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Seat time syndicate.
Yep. But so it was cool. It was a fun experience.
That's awesome. So what does inquiring minds want to know? What does KOH 2025 look like for Kevin Jones?
I will be there. I've been there since.
I will be there.
I will be there.
That's a good start.
I've been at KOH since 2013. I missed 2016 when my second daughter was born.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be there. I will be in a race car. I will not be driving the race car. I'll be in the wrong seat. And that's a combination of a lot of things, but mostly the fact that I still haven't figured out how to actually pay to go racing, and what little planned spending money I did have, I spent on the Bronco. So I don't have any funding available to campaign that little fully independent car or anything else. So I received an offer to navigate, and I'm going to do that in the EMC race. And I don't know if we're keeping that a secret or talking about it or what.
I don't know. Can we talk about it? Okay. Let's talk about it.
So we got a little delay before this airs.
We got a little delay here.
All right. So over the last couple years, and then obviously more so in the last few months, I've gotten to know Holly Fowler quite a bit better. And she built a 4500 class Jeep 2 years ago, and she's raced KOH twice and has yet to finish. And she asked me if I would navigate for her and help her try to finish King of the Hammers. And I thought that sounded like an awesome, experience and opportunity to try and help her get across the finish line.
Cool.
Yee freaking yee. Yeah. That's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah. When I was, a little bit of the backstory, I guess, when I was at her shop in Utah helping her on her Liberty, before I left, she wanted me to drive the race car and give her my 2 cents on it. So I literally just drove it around the industrial complex neighborhood where her shop is, and just drove it for, 5 or 10 minutes, and just came back and I was like, where's a notepad and pen? And just started writing down like number 1, this, number 2, that, number 3, this, number 4, and her eyes are just getting bigger. And she's like,
oh crap.
She's like, I just wanted to know how the transmission shifted or something, and I was like, no. I'm like, we got a list, we got things to do. So it'll be good. I gotta, we obviously have a little bit of logistical distance between us, but it's a day's drive and stuff. And she wants to get out to Johnson Valley before the race. So you'll probably, in the coming, I guess it's only 2 months, you'll see me probably go to her shop and help her with the race Jeep. You'll probably see us both in Johnson Valley trying to do some testing and get some miles in and figure out a lot of the things that driver and navigator have to figure out. But hopefully we're ready to take on King of the Hammers 2025. It'd be really cool to. She works her butt off, and I think it'd be a great way for her to kind of get some validation on that Jeep, is finish that race.
That's exciting. That's cool, man. That's another cool opportunity there. And I know they've been charging hard. And what last year? What happened last year? I can't remember. To the rig.
I don't honestly know what took her out. I know she's probably told me, but I don't think it. One problem or another, like it just. It wasn't ready yet. She wasn't ready. Her navigator wasn't ready. The car wasn't ready. Like it takes a while to, figure it out. That's why people show up to King of the Hammers and they DNF and DNF and DNF, and then they spend all their money, and then they're out of the sport and they go home. And that would have honestly been a lot better for me if that's what happened my first year, because I'd have a lot more money in the bank. if I won and done and I quitted and never
but you
back,
wouldn't have the experiences that you have.
So instead I just keep spending all my money every year.
This is good. I like this team right here, because knowing Holly, knowing you, I'm thinking back to Turkey Claw last year, where there was a literal traffic jam. And, then Amber comes up on that with her Samurai and picks another line, and that's going to be you coaching her along. Like, there's another line. Get your ass over here. Let's make this happen. Keep this thing moving forward. I think your experience is going to lend a lot of, going to be a huge asset for her this year in finishing that race.
Yeah, it'll be a different scenario for me than what I'm used to, right? Because either I'm used to driving, or even the 2 times I previously navigated for Scott Lesage and for Aaron Smith, those guys were both like just crazy, like engineer mindset, right? They know every single part number of their car by heart and all that stuff. And Holly doesn't get that in the weeds with her stuff. She just goes, I like this, and I like how this feels, and I like that, and I like how that feels. But, she doesn't have, the part number memorized on the, tail half tail shaft housing seal, or whatever, like Aaron or Scott or I might. So but what I like is that, we have worked together, obviously in the shop, we've been together on the trail. We've had enough experiences together now where I like her demeanor. I like how she operates and how she thinks. And, she had some tough trail days out there because she lost power steering on the OnX thing. And I'm sure all that'll be in her video and stuff. And where I think most people would have just turned around and said no, I'm done. This isn't working, whatever. She just was like, nope, this is the challenge. This is what we built the vehicle for, power steering or not, I'm pushing through. And to me, that was very reminiscent of kind of that tenacity you need for hammers. So I think, as long as we can overcome problems and work through situations, I think you're right. I think we will be a good fit because, she knows how to drive in the rocks. That's no question. She's been wheeling Mischief Maker for a long, long time. She self-admittedly doesn't feel super comfortable in the desert, especially after breaking her back.
Yeah.
Whatever that was, a year and a half ago. So she's a little bit gun shy about speed and G outs and compression and stuff like that. But that's fine. I think a 4,500 class car is fast enough that you don't have to be setting a blistering pace in the desert to have a good day. So I think it'll be good. She's got realistic expectations and goals, and obviously I've done it a couple times. So I think it is a good fit.
I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun to follow. Right on, man.
Absolutely.
Well, congrats. Yeah, this is going to be exciting. Well, good. Anything else before we get into this gift guide here? Any other updates? You got any other crazy projects?
Yeah, it's that whole what's the next story thing. I mean, my brain is constantly it's never at rest with all this. The basic plan moving forward is grow that. For the first time ever, I'm seeing actual revenue through YouTube. So my motivation is to just make that as much of a thing as I can so that I can keep funding this stupid hobby and passion. And then, through the need to create content, I think the projects should be fun and they should tell good stories. So I've been trying to sell Mallory's Grand Cherokee for a couple of weeks now and nobody's interested in buying it. So I think I'm going to cut it all up and build it and maybe do a giveaway and see if we can sell t-shirts to take her Jeep away or something. I don't even know. I mean, to me, nothing's off the table right now. And if it gives me a story to tell or content to create, and it entertains the people, and then I'm just going to have a good time with it because I've proven to myself year after year after year that spending money on race cars is just, for a long time, I held on to this notion that somebody's going to see all the hard work I'm doing. Somebody's going to see how bad I want to go racing and step in and be my sugar daddy. And that just, has not happened. So now I've kind of switched gears to a mindset of I have to go out and make this for myself. And I feel
absolutely.
I feel like the YouTube thing is really my best mechanism at this point to try to actually, turn some energy into income, and then I can spend that income to go racing because whether it's a go-kart at K1 speed or it's, a car at King of the Hammers, I just want to drive. And that's really, that's at the end of the day, that's still the goal.
Yeah.
There it is.
There's got to be some comfort, relief, whatever you want to call it, that, you're not going to have to fire up that timer countdown clock on your wall to get something ready for KOH. Yeah. You need to polish your helmet, clean your race suit, and you're probably going to take Bluey down there, huh? You gonna get
Yeah,
Bluey
well,
down
I
there?
mean, if I figure out the flat tow thing, then maybe I'll drive the motorhome and tow Bluey and have at
Or you
least
get a
get
trailer.
around vig or
Why?
something.
I thought you had a flatbed trailer you could put that on.
I do, but it's really lightweight, and I kept overloading it, and I broke every cross member out of it. I bent the frame.
Okay, so
I
you can
smashed the
build a trailer or
fenders, so-
modify that one, or buy a trailer
Right.
before KOH and tow it down behind the motorhome.
I don't
That's
know.
your project.
We'll
Look
see.
at Jason spending other people's money
Well,
just
no,
like
that's
that.
that's easy peasy, man. You can do that in like, well, you can go buy one right away and modify it. But so there's my point is that you push to get ready for OnX, but now you can relax.
You're saying my winter should be a lot less stressful this year.
It should be a lot less stressful.
Yeah.
Spend time with the family, the goats, the chickens.
If I spend time with the family, they're not even going to know what to do. They're going to be like, well, wait, it's hammer season.
Build another tree house.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, that's
I think
good.
I'll probably, I think I'll do race car things this winter just to stay like in that groove of, kind of embrace it. But yeah, I don't have to stay up all night, I did one all-nighter for the Bronco in that last week, and I tell you what, every year of my life that gets a little bit harder to do,
especially as you get older. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been asleep for the last half hour. What are you talking about?
Nice. Hey, Baja 1000 just wrapped up here. There is a story that came out, and I'm sure you've seen it, about the kid on the dirt bike.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Ben and David Hunter that had the Starlink taped to his freaking helmet, the mini Starlink, and he had a Jackery on the back.
That's right.
I mean, there was like 4 rolls of duct tape between the Starlink on his helmet, the Jackery on the back, and then he had a phone taped to his chest so he could live stream. Because he's got type 1 diabetes, and his mom said the only way you're racing is if you can live stream the whole event, and they figured it out.
Yeah,
how great is that?
I know I love that every year there's a story, right? Like I think it was last year, maybe it was Dutchy, right?
Yeah, Dutchy, which I guess he finished again this year.
Thing. Yeah, he finished again. This year, a lot of people were hoping it was going to be that dude on the Triumph that was going to Ironman it, but like he didn't make it far at all. Like I don't know that story, but so that one didn't work out. But then this kid crosses the finish line with a Starlink dish on his head. What I want to know is like how many miles, because I think he and his brother were maybe tag teaming it. Like how many miles did he put in like that? Like it's wild. Like
I don't know.
It's pretty funny. Yeah,
I don't know, but and
then that his dad had the famous interview like a couple years ago, right, where he called his kids stupid.
Right.
Yeah. So now people have been on Instagram. They've been piecing those two interviews together, right? So it's the dad a couple of years ago being like, "Yeah, why save money for college? My kids are stupid anyway." He's like, "There they are right now. There's my stupid sons,
Right.
And then it fast forwards to a kid with a
Starlink taped to
his head, and he's like, "Yeah, my dad called us stupid a couple of years ago."
He did. They called it out. It's good. Yeah. It's a great story.
It's kind of the Ricky Bobby, It's like
totally.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's good. That's a good one. I like that one.
No, that's great. All right. Without further ado, great catching up. Great catching
Absolutely.
up. You got a lot to tell here. Here we are. We're well over an hour into this thing. So let's get this gift guide going. And this is the first time we've had a guest here for our gift guide. So I love this every year, and it's kind of like, we do $50 and under. Mm-hmm. So because 25, you couldn't do anything. Last year was, and this year too, it's Bidenomics. But hey, next year is going to be a lot better. And then we got $50, $100 ish range, which 100 and up. And then the unlimited, which is just pie in the sky shit. And Chris, I hope you thought bigger this year, because last year you were way too practical with your pie in the sky shit.
I'm still Mr. Practical
for your rig and stuff. But I know Kevin Jones is going to go huge, so this is going to be good.
Huge.
It's going to be good. So let's let our guests start this thing off with the $50 and under gift here for that you'd recommend or your
Okay.
okay.
So
Here we go.
there's
Got to
going to
get
be
qualified.
a theme.
Here we go.
There's going to be a theme with all my price categories.
Okay.
And it'll be obvious here after the first one. But
Okay.
I often get asked, how does Mallory let you do all this, get away with this? Like, what, spell have you put over her? So every time we do this, you guys do the holiday gift guide, I think about how funny it is that all the men listening that do all the wheeling and have the Jeeps and vehicles and everything, that we're talking about the gifts that they want. I'm going to make suggestions in each category of things to buy your significant other so that you are in good graces and you can buy things you want for yourself. So this is Ultra Four Jones's gift guide for your lady.
Oh,
wow.
Ooh. Bear.
So in the under $50 category, I'm going to go with... there it is.
Already going sideways. I love it. Okay, what do you got?
Just wanted to throw a curveball out there for
this
you guys.
Is a total curveball. This is totally unexpected.
I don't know. I know my wife's taste, but I feel like this fits most women. I'm going to suggest an evening at home, a nice bottle of wine, some Netflix and chill. You guys are both just like dumbfounded right now. They're like, no, you're supposed to say like winter.
I was hoping you said lingerie or something, but all right, Netflix and chill.
I don't think you can get anything at Victoria's Secret for less than $100. Yeah. Netflix and chill. I like it.
Okay.
So we know this. We know the secret to Kevin Jones.
Some more wine here.
I mean, seriously, like if I treat Mallory right, and it doesn't have to just be for Christmas, but if the time I spend with her is heartfelt and sincere, and shows a little bit of effort, then that gets me more time and energy to do the things that I like to do. So,
well, there's definitely, whatever you're doing is working because you've been able to pull off all this stuff. And Mallory is a gem.
She's a trooper.
She is awesome in every way. And, I have a few of my friends' wives. I said, if anything ever happens to your husband, I'll be the stand-in. So, and Mallory's one of those. So
she just wants to go on the road trips. She wants to go on the road trips so she can get her picture taken. And
get pictures and,
state line signs.
That'd be a great Christmas gift if you take all those pictures of her in front of all those signs and make a collage. You should do that.
Yeah, I guess she might listen to this before Christmas.
So you don't.
Let's just go. Yes. But
okay. Perfect.
I have an idea, very concentric with that.
So, all right, Chris, give me something good here. What do you got?
Okay, I'm going full patriotic. I mean, we've had this beautiful, wonderful election, and
it's great.
It's great. The country is hopefully going to resume some common sense.
It will. It already has. There's a sense of calm.
I'm hopeful of common sense will reign once again, and we'll go from there. But I want to represent, and one of the vendors or people that we as a club have used in the past was Forever Wave, the interchangeable flag system. And so you can get, if you haven't heard of them, go to their website, which is foreverwave.com. But you can get they have USA flags and you can get custom made flags and whatnot. But I'm specifically talking about the USA flag you can get for $24.95. But it also, if you don't have a sleeve to mount it on your rig, whether it's a roll bar or something that can go on your antenna. But these you get the sleeve, and I think the whole system is $49.95, including a sleeve to mount to your vehicle, whether it's a buggy, a Jeep, or a Bronco, or whatever, Toyota. I don't know.
No,
but get a USA flag, and it zips on there. You can represent the United States of America. You can represent your club or whatever, and I like it. I have several flags for my Jeep. when I'm out and about on the trail or just cruising around, which it's not doing right now because it's got a massive fuel leak. But anyway, that's my
No, that's good. I've had that system for a long time. We did it for our Esprit 4 forward drive club.
Yep.
You put the sleeve on the antenna, and it literally you zip on all the different flags. So I'd put on a club flag when we're on a club, run, the American flag, and that American flag I've been running for over 6 years on the buggy, or 6 years on the buggy, and then beyond that with Jeep too. And it's stood up to the winds at Johnson Valley and stuff, and out here in Nevada. So yeah, definitely, that's a good call. That's out of left field too. I like it.
Well, they've got all sorts of. I think you're welcome. They have all sorts of ones. They have the blue Lives Matter flag.
Yep.
They've got also Don't Tread on Me. I mean, it's super cool. They got USA Subdued First Responder flag, which dispatch, EMS, search and rescue police. That speaks to you, Kevin. And
well, I feel like you're speaking to me with this one, Chris. The tailgate of Bluey is an American flag right now.
Oh, that's super awesome.
That was a wrap that I bought off Amazon for, I think, $44.
So that's great. There you go.
Right on.
There we go.
So we got 2 good recommendations so far. Jason, what do you got?
I don't know if we got 2 good recommendations. We got one. Anyways. Okay. I've got a few here, but the first one that I'm gonna go with this one. So this has been cool this year because we can't have fires in our forest because fire restriction stuff. So these ammo can, the lava box, which is like $300, but you can go to Home Depot and buy an ammo can on sale for $10 and you can buy a kit. For less than $50, you can have a lava box home built. And those things work pretty damn good for a little ambiance and heat, and super portable. So build your own lava box.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That's my first one there. You got another $50 one there, Kevin, or is it? No, just one.
No, I'm ready to move up a category.
Okay, Chris, you got any more 50s?
No, I kind of went all in on that one.
Okay, I got 2 more.
Oh, of course you do.
Okay. Well, okay. Here's Wheeling Wine and Whiskey. We got to talk about whiskey. We've talked about in the past. Old Elk, obviously in the $45 range, and now it's up at like the $60, $65 range. But Minden Mill, which is right here in my hometown, just came out with their bourbon and rye. 4-year-old bourbon, 4-year-old rye. Holy shit. I'm telling you right now, buckle up, buttercups. Really good stuff. If you listen to a couple previous podcasts, I was sampling the bourbon. Got over the handlebars a little bit. That's super, super smooth. I sampled the rye last night, and I got to say, I love my ryes, and that is really good. And they're both at $45. $45. Minden Mill, bourbon or rye, 4-year-old. You will not be disappointed. I'm giving you the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey Jason guarantee right here. So there you go.
Oh, perfect.
Do you know if they ship, Jason?
I do not know if they ship. I think they do. They do have a website. I'm gonna have Lorenzo look it up right now. He's curled Lorenzo up in front of the fire right now. Yeah, they it looks like they will ship. Yeah, I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay,
because you can shop.
Yeah, it looks like they do
website.
ship.
Yeah,
yep.
But
delivery,
I can bring it to you as well. I can hand deliver.
Oh.
They have a single malt as well, which is, a Scotch. I have not tried that yet. I heard, though, that people were enjoying it at the distillery when I was there. But I didn't get a chance to try it that evening, but it gives me another reason to go back.
Good deal.
The other thing I had is, gift cards are kind of, Oh, they're good. I was thinking a Harbor Freight gift card because anybody that's in the, off-road arena, they're, and you went by their booth, didn't you, Kevin, at SEMA?
Yes.
They got
Yes,
a lot
I
of
did.
new stuff coming out. I mean, and the generator, I talked about the generator about. Now, obviously,
Yep.
it's way more than $50, but that's a nice gift because it's, I don't know, as guys, we just like going in there and perusing and checking out stuff. And you could buy some pretty cool shit with $50 at Harbor Freight. So that was my other $50. Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
Wow.
apparently we're moving on to the 100 range. Okay, Kevin, I can't wait for this one. This is going to be a Landry Steakhouse or something.
No.
Bottle of wine, some
It's
LPR
even,
Happy
cocktail.
ending.
yeah. So I've also, as Mallory and I's, marriage matures and we learn a little bit more about what we each find enjoyable. Something that I've been doing to make Mama's life a little bit easier on what is a date night, instead of asking her to, okay, I know you just had a long day, but now you got to put on nice clothes and make sure your hair and makeup and everything's right. And we're going to go have a nice dinner somewhere. Instead, I've been cooking her dinner. So maybe spend the $100 on some nice ingredients, on a nice recipe, and make your special person a dinner at home. And that way they can just be comfortable and not have to go out and add to their already long day. And then again, happy wife, happy life, more time in the garage.
There's something to be said about nice home cooked meal. Like you say, you don't have to get all dressed up. And I know you can cook pretty well, and Mallory does too. But you could throw down some, buy some nice quality steaks and have a damn near, steakhouse experience without dealing with all the BS and paying $500 for two to have a steakhouse evening. So okay, I'll give you that one.
I like that. I like it a lot. I mean, we do that here
like it a
at the
lot.
house all the time. My wife and I talk regularly about, dining out, and the experience is usually mediocre for the amount of money that's spent. And we've discovered, and we've known it for a long time, but we can do better at home for less money, or and just have better quality food. So, and of course, it's more relaxing, as you said. So, yeah, I'm a fan. That's a good call, Kevin.
Okay.
I'm getting you guys on board. I think you're picking up.
Yeah. My wife's gonna love all these tips. Okay, so Chris, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going into the bourbon world, or
good.
alcohol.
Here we
world.
go, bringing it back. I love it.
So it's funny because I man, this is Wheeling Wine and Whiskey. So drink a fair amount of bourbon, whiskey, wine, and I discovered and stumbled across this website that sells some stuff that I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on. But it's called the My Bar, and there's these dispensers that you can buy that you can load up with your favorite spirit or even wine. I guess they're a separate system for the wine than from the shot station. But
Shot
you can
station.
they have the My Bar Shot Station Mini 2. They have single, duo, trio, and quad. And
Lorenzo,
I'm
look this up right now.
you go to mybarltd.com. But I'm looking at the duo. It's two of these things with a label holder and a 4-shot cup. You can get these for $105, and the trio is $150. They're on sale right now for $144. But wicked discounts.
Amazon?
But these things are pretty badass, and they have a wine system too. That you can
on
tap
the website right now.
Anyway, pretty cool stuff. I'm looking at the Shot Station Mini 2. I'm thinking of getting the Duo, but so the Duo is $105 right now. $106. $105.99.
Here's the problem I see, because I used to have a kegerator, refrigerator that I turned into a kegerator, and so the freezer was up top, refrigerator on the bottom, put a pony keg in, 5 gallons of beer.
Sure. Right.
Tap. And you had, ice cold pint glasses in the freezer, which just made it ultra convenient and super fun to have, a beer. And
all the time.
Yeah, all the time. It made it way too convenient where now this little My Bar that you're talking about, you could just press a button and put it.
Well, I'm going to install them in my shower. They're going to be installed in my shower.
So you're going to have shower whiskey. That would be perfect. Right next to the shampoo and conditioner dispenser, you got a fucking whiskey dispenser. Right.
No, these things look cool, and I think
it's way to alcoholism there, Chris.
Well, I think we've
like
passed that. We've crossed that bridge, but anyway, I like it. I think it's cool, and the price is right. Cool. So
that's something fun. All right,
yeah, for sure.
Okay,
that's my pick.
Okay, I like it.
What do you got?
I
big old smile on your face. Right
well,
there.
no. So in the this is actually about $120. It's practical for our off-roading experience, but it's a 3/4 inch by 20 kinetic rope. Not strap, a rope from JM Rigging.
Those
Jim
are great.
Out there in southern Utah, Hurricane. I got to know him over the years, and I've had him make a couple ropes for me, a winch extension, the Raptor rope when you get all effed off there in Sand Hollow. But he makes a kinetic strap that's super good. So it stretches like 30%, right? So you can, pull out a vehicle. The 3/4 inch is rated for 25,000 pounds. He makes 1 inch and whatever rig you got, but it's a very nice kinetic pulling setup. And he has kits, so the nice little bag with the shackles and a couple different a static rope and a kinetic rope. But so that's a nice, because quality stuff. We've talked about this before. It's you can buy the Amazon shit for a fraction of the price, but is it worth it when that shit snaps and you're out in the middle of a major recovery or something, and
you get what you pay for?
God, heaven forbid somebody or vehicle gets hurt and stuff. So yeah, JM Rigging, his kinetic rope there.
Cool. Good stuff.
Dinner, but there you go. Okay. Anybody else got any $100 stuff? I got so our next category is unlimited, but so something that's in the realm of over $100 and something very cool that I've always wanted and got a 4-post lift in the garage now, but for a few $1,000s, a 4-post lift is super freaking cool. I always wanted one. Now that I have one, I couldn't live without it. If you can do a 2-post lift, that's even better. But, those run a few $1,000, but that's
hashtag Jason money.
Well, I got mine used, so I got it for significantly less, but, they're great. They're fucking great. Not only for storage, but for working on stuff. As long as you don't have to pull wheels off a vehicle, which they do have the capability of getting a little, lift deal. But if you're going to be pulling wheels off and doing axle work, that's better to have a 2-post lift. But 4-post, everything else, phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I have one of those at work, and I loved running the truck up on the lift to change the oil. It's super convenient. Instead of crawling around or slithering around on the ground like a lizard, it's much easier,
especially
more convenient.
As we get older.
Yeah, a lot older. So
okay,
cool. I like it.
Anybody else got anything in that before we go to unlimited? I can't wait to hear Kevin's unlimited here. This is going to be Lorenzo is over here. He's right up next to me right now, just like what the. This is going to be good.
I hear he bought Shannon's old car.
Yeah, right. I would have. Sorry, I picked one for each. I would have created more if
That's all right. This is your first time. It's your first time podcasting. We get it.
It wasn't. I feel like I've listened to this episode every year for 5 years. You think I'd have it figured out?
It's all right. We kind of sprung it on you at last minute, so you get a hall pass. I like your theme so far. So I'm Lorenzo and I are here waiting for the unlimited.
Let us have it, Kevin.
Okay. All right.
Here we go.
It is take a road trip. Buy a stupid
buy a
car,
rig.
buy a car and take a drive. It's the best. We've done it a couple times. I would love to do it once a year, just to make some crazy memories. Like, I don't know. I feel like so much of life is so predictable and the same that nothing is as wonderfully scary as spending time with somebody you love in a vehicle that you have zero faith in. And setting off in a direction that you really don't even know much about and just letting it happen.
Wasn't that a movie? There was a movie like that called The Hitcher, I think it was, wasn't it?
Oh.
I love it, though. That is cool, and you have pulled this off. There's going to be one time where the whatever vehicle you get shits the bed somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and then you're going to have to, put the Starlink up and try and freaking figure it out. But I love that sense of adventure that you have, and I've gotten, like I say, I've been looser this summer with my type A personality and going, okay, I got to check everything. But now I'm just like, okay, you know what? Let's just,
it'll be all right.
Send it. It'll be fine. It'll work itself out somehow. So that is true. That's cool. Pick, buy a vehicle for whatever amount, wherever it is, road trip it back, got one-way airfare. So you're on the security radar. Like, why is this guy flying one way?
Mm-hmm. With tools.
With tools.
Business or pleasure? Well, hopefully both. I think it'll even
That's
be,
great.
I think you'll even maybe see, like, I don't know, maybe it'll be like my birthday or something one year. Maybe we'll try to do it as a group, get a bunch of people to agree to just fly to like Austin or something, and you got a couple days to shop for a piece of junk, and then we'll rally.
$2,000 limit on your car.
You need to buy like an old Cadillac convertible and get like six friends and just cruise it back.
Get a 76 Lincoln Town
I see
car.
Aaron, Aaron in there.
Yeah.
I'd love to be part of that. We'll get.
But what if we all got like drop top Cadillacs and we just cannonball run them,
And then, it's going to turn.
Isn't that what Thelma and Louise had?
Yeah,
it's going to
Thelma
turn
and
into
Louise
a contest of like who gets to a certain checkpoint first or whatever. Yeah, that could be fun. That'd be
the loser of each day's like little treasure hunt or challenges. Has to buy the first round when we get to
I like that.
Town at night.
I like that a lot. You're on to something. That'd make for great YouTube content too.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah!
There you go.
Take your significant other or loved one on a road trip.
Okay,
make some memories.
All right,
that's my unlimited category because you can do that. You can do it super cheap, or you can spend all kinds of money.
Spend
Four Seasons hotels right there. That's
okay. All right, Chris, what do you got?
Oh, I'm so practical on this one, but it's as I get older and I need to get around at KOH and stuff like that, and it's getting harder for me to walk longer distances. So I'm going to go with, and I'm actually going to buy it, electric e-bike. It's got fat tires, so it can cruise around in the desert, going back from Upper Hammertown Heights down to Hammertown. And so I can get these things. They're on sale right now for Black Friday. You can get $1,000 for this electric e-bike, and that's in the color I want. So it folds up. It's convenient for stuffing into the back in the camper, and it doesn't take up much space, and it's rechargeable from a generator. I like it. I'm excited.
Right on. What's that, Lorenzo? He wants to know if there's a basket on the front that he can ride in it.
There's a basket on the front and the back. It's
what?
Think Toto, and
Does it have a horn up front too?
I don't know about a horn. It's got a light.
Clown horn. You need a clown horn up front. No, I know you talked about that. They are cool. The technology has come around. That's good. That's nice, very practical.
And $1,000. That's nothing to shake a stick at,
No,
Yeah.
no.
Where's that deal at, Chris? Where's that one found?
Electric, Letric. Where's the website? I got it up here right here. electricebikes.com. And yeah, pretty cool. The XP 3.0 Black Friday bundle for $9.99. It includes a free comfort seat, a suspension seat post, elite headlight, and bike lock. And it also has the racks front and rear. So, the cargo package. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be cool. electricebikes.com. It's electric with no E, Letric, ebikes.com. You can see I'm getting older and a little bit more mobility.
Hey, well, at
challenged.
least it's not the
Lark
sit down shopping cart lark.
Rascal.
Yeah, the rascal.
Scooter.
I don't think those would do very well in the desert.
No, they wouldn't. They definitely wouldn't.
Be like, I need a recovery. Calling in for a recovery. I'd have to carry my ham radio and call for a recovery.
You got a Badlands winch on the front of that lark.
And then Kevin Jones would show up with the buggy and rip me out of the ground.
Design lights on the sides. Some rock lights underneath.
Rock, yeah,
Dude.
that's what you need on it. Rock lights.
That'd be actually pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
It's
my lark.
It'll tax the range on it. It won't go as far with all the high LED lights on it, but whatever. Bopping across the desert over to Chocolate Thunder on my e-bike.
Wow. So I appreciate your practicality, Chris, but
I'm trying.
We're gonna, you got anything else, or is that it?
No.
Is it anything else in the unlimited? Anything like, Ford?
Well, if I had unlimited money, I'd probably go out and buy a brand new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. But
well, see, there you go. I
don't have 70 grand burning.
No,
in
it's
my
not
pocket.
like you got to have. So you got to understand, this is pie in the sky shit.
It's the dream.
It's
category.
the dream. It's the dream.
Yeah.
You got to chase the dream. You don't have to have the money in your account to buy this. You don't have to be JL Latte, rich to buy a latte machine.
I'd love to have a brand new Jeep Wrangler. It'd be kind of four-door Wrangler. It'd be kind of cool.
With or without
Something
ducks on the dash.
What's that?
I said with or without ducks on the dash.
No ducks. No ducks.
Okay,
Somebody ducked me once, and I threw the duck away.
Did you see the meme that or the video that was going around, and the guy, they obviously went duck hunting and they got this dead duck and they're like, oh, look, a Jeep, we're gonna put a duck on this dead duck.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's freaking hilarious. I love it.
No, I did not see that. That's crazy.
All right. Well, gosh,
down to you. What's your unlimited?
Well, so last year, there was I talked about getting like a diesel pusher motorhome with a stacker trailer, which is nice, and some property where you could build your own 4-wheel drive ranch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to be more practical this year. I got 2 things on my list here, which is, I don't know, you can correct me, Kevin. You're probably more in tune with this than I am, but a CNC plasma table. What are those, about $8,000?
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty big spectrum, but the ones that I kind of look at,
the good ones.
Yeah, they're 6 to 8. That's fair.
6 to 8. So that's a realistic, thing. But man, for if you're building a lot of stuff, I mean, I bet you would love to have one of those when you were working on Bluey there, cutting out parts and making up some shit.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think the big constraint for a lot of people with that is just the sheer space it takes up. And then if you don't have either a water table or like a downdraft or whatever, the metal dust that gets blown into the air kind of destroys the whole area and stuff. But I'm in love with that industrial bandsaw. Like, I got that thing up and running, and I cut all kinds of bluey brackets on that thing. And the Dual is
the Dual.
I mean,
does it all.
Yeah, I got that. I mean, to me, that's a shop level tool, and I spent $1,000 on it at an equipment auction, and I've probably got like another $200 in, parts, just kind of like refurbishing it and stuff. But yeah, either way, like good fabrication tools. That's definitely like a great dream category.
Yeah, absolutely. And then my other thing, like unlimited money, I'd get a Caliph Redden 4-steer buggy.
There you go.
I
was waiting for that.
Step up the game a little bit, and I got to spend a little time with Caliph at Trail Hero, and he likes to party, and he builds some really cool shit. The kid that won Trailbreaker had a Caliph Redden buggy, Caliph's old buggy. Brett there, Dickie. So yeah, I mean, James Tracy, there's a few buggies out there. And of course, Bomber, if I could just unlimited cash, give Randy a blank check and go, here, build me a fucking 4-steer Gold Digger 2.0.
3.0.
Yeah, that'd be great, right?
Yeah, you're talking about dream category and you start getting into vehicles. I can't help but notice lately, and I don't know if it's like, not to be political, but just like looming recession or what, but like manufacturers are offering like 0% right now, I've noticed. So like to me, that's always like a sign of the times, right? Or whatever interest rates on new cars. So I'm starting to see some zeros, but then I obviously follow the used race car market, like, really closely. And there have been some incredible
there's some deals,
high-end car deals. And so I would say if somebody was ever dreaming of getting something really exotic in the off-road world, I feel like the market's good right now, and it's probably only going to get better. I mean,
it's a buyer's market right now for sure.
It is a buyer's market. So I don't know how you get that money, whether it's, borrow against your retirement like I always do, or you pull a second on your house or what. But
right.
If there was ever a time to buy your dream vehicle, I feel like it's pretty much now.
Gotta live. No, that's good. So, anything else?
No, I'm all tapped out.
I gotta say,
one more.
You did surprise me. Oh, you got one more?
No, I don't. I thought you were going to say you had one
Kevin
more.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be different from years past. I mean, the private jet's always in the unlimited category because that'd be just super cool, and love to have a private jet again since fucking Lorenzo lost ours. But yeah, Kevin surprised me. I was thinking, I was totally thinking, like have a UFO car or something on the list there. The shop. I don't know.
Yeah, I listen to the gift guide episode every year, and I think about, like, I don't know your guys' podcast demographics, but I feel like it's probably mostly us, right? So
it totally is.
I'm not listening to a gift guide to come up with ideas for myself, but I'm trying to think about how to keep the lady happy so that I can.
I like that.
I know what I want. I buy it for myself all the time. Like Mallory always says, I'm the hardest person to shop for because I buy it when I need it or want it. So
I do the same thing.
Why not use Christmas as an excuse to treat your lady right? And then,
there you go.
Keep on keeping on.
Well, there you go.
I like it. It gives me some ideas.
There's how many years you've been married now? Put you on the spot.
16? Yeah.
16. There you go. 16. See? Yeah. There you go. Kevin's got it all figured out. That's how he does it right here, guys.
Just had my 29th.
Happy life. 29th, Chris?
Yep, 29.
And you're like
29.
35 or 36? Holy shit.
Yeah, I wish.
Wow. Time flies, man. Well,
Yep.
this has been great. It was fun catching up with you, Kevin, and
for sure.
everything that you've been doing. Do you have a count, Chris, of how many times Kevin's been on the podcast now?
I think this. I don't know. I got to find that. I got to find that document.
Unofficial race here between Kevin and Amber.
Amber's just called. She wants to be on the show again.
Yes, she's got some updates as well. Many
right?
Updates.
Yeah. She's definitely had some things transpire in life, so it'd be good to definitely get caught up on
and just coming out of Johnson Valley too with the was it the Girls in the Desert or Girls in the Rocks or Dirt or whatever they were doing down there, all girls.
Yeah.
They should just buy property down there. This is, they spend so much time down there now.
Yeah.
It's just, whatever.
Well,
we all should buy property down there. Have a compound. That's my unlimited pick right there. Property in Johnson Valley.
You got to think big, Chris.
Okay.
You got to think big. You got to manifest this shit.
Laser Town.
If you don't think about it, it's not going to happen. You got to at least think about it.
I try to think about a lot of things, but then my brain hurts.
Oh, jeez.
Kevin, super good getting caught up with you. It's always good to talk with you and hear your excellent stories. And you just you're hammer down all the time. And that's like I said earlier in the episode, I'm envious of the way you operate. It's
thanks.
It's pretty cool. But I know now you got to step back a little bit and work some to pay the bills.
Yep, it's not all roses, but it's
not
pretty
all
good.
bad.
Pretty good life. I'm very, very blessed and very fortunate, and I'm definitely, like you said, I've been full send the last few years. I don't know if this is midlife crisis or what. But, I just thankful that everybody's along for the ride, and the haters are the minority, and it's always good to catch up with you guys.
You make it happen. You create your own luck. You're making it happen. And putting yourself out there, and that's the bulk of it right there. So
there you go.
Awesome. Right.
Ultra 4 Jones on the IG, also at Chase 518 on YouTube.
518 on YouTube. Check it out. He's growing in followers.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is the best way to support me right now because YouTube actually pays me. So
how do you, talk about this for a quick second because there is some YouTube analytics there. So like somebody clicks on your video, but watches it all the way through from minute 1 till minute 19, whenever the full video is. But what if somebody only watches like half of it? Is there still...
I'm only getting paid off of ad views. So
okay,
I let you can pick when in your video you want the ads placed, or you can let YouTube do it for you. I have so much to do and so much to learn. I let YouTube place my videos.
Okay,
or place the ads where they think, and they've got some software that's trying to figure out like dramatic breaks in your video where they can, let's go to commercial because the people stick around because they want to see what happens afterwards, whatever. So I get paid off of ad views. So let's say I have ads at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So if you only watch the beginning of the video, and that's the only ad you either watched or skipped through or whatever, that's the only one I get paid off of from your
Got
video.
it.
But if you let the whole thing play out and you saw the beginning, the middle, and the end ads, then I get paid off of all of that. And then the more they're able to sell my ad space for, I'm getting a commission of that, a percentage. So
interesting.
Like I had a video, I don't know, let's say a year ago, get 20,000 views, but I was so inconsistent on YouTube and just wasn't staying in my lane, so to speak. Like I was doing something different every video and my ad space wasn't worth much money. So like maybe I only made like $30 off that video that got 20,000 views. But now because my content is so consistent and so like staying in my lane, my niche, that they're selling my ads obviously for more money. So if I have a video hit 20,000 views now, I'm making significantly more money. So
got it.
That's just flat out. That's the single best way. People support me in a lot of different ways and I appreciate all of them. But the easiest thing to do is watch the videos. And if you like them, share them with somebody else who you think might like it. And
and watch the video all the way through.
Well,
I mean, even if it's nap time or you want something to fall asleep to, just hit play and then.
Here's the thing. So this is what I do. When I'm, especially this time of the year now that it's getting dark at frickin' 5:00 at night. Thank you, time change. When is that shit going to get straightened out? Anyways, I don't subscribe to TV or pay for any TV anymore. Right. I just do YouTube. And so at night when I'm fixing dinner, I got my TV, I can, stream the stuff, and I hit play and make it happen. I let you, because you told me this, because I didn't realize, just let it play all the way through. And I'm doing other stuff, but I'm listening, and then I watch, and
it's fine.
So
it doesn't, I don't expect people to hang on to every word or anything like that, but I think there's
but it's cool. So you, Mischief Maker, Shannon and Jess's channel is always fun too.
Yep.
All their cooking, I love their cooking show, and I talked to them at SEMA, and I'm like, Jess, I'm loving the cooking stuff. So it's fun watching their channel evolve as well. Of course, the Peck brothers, and it goes on and on. But there's plenty of content out there, whatever you're looking for. But that's the key. I just wanted to get that out there, because in talking with you, it's like, no, this is how I support, my hobby and stuff. And it's, if you watch the video all the way through, that is carries a lot more weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Chris.
Yes.
What do you got? Well, let's put a bow on this.
Want to put a bow on it? All right. If you want to get a hold of Jason, you can email him at jason@wheelingwinewhiskey.com. You can email me, Chris, at wheelingwinewhiskey.com. You can reach us on the IG at Wheeling Wine Whiskey. Don't forget about the phone number, 408-800-5169. Leave a voice message. It will get played on the air. That number again is 408-800-5169. And you can also go, and this is our shameless plug, to go to wheelingwinewhiskey.com, our website, where you can see all of our past episodes. And, of course, the link to the merch, which, because we're coming into the holiday season, you want to treat your loved ones to some merch and so they can represent Wheeling Wine Whiskey. Get them a hoodie, a hat, a beanie, buff, whatever, a koozie. We have all sorts of great stuff on our website. And holiday seasons are coming up quickly, so get your orders in so they can be under the Christmas tree. And then what else? irate4x4.com. We'll support them and it's a great forum. It's also a great place to see and interact with other listeners of our show at Watch, Listen, and Discuss. And you can also support us directly on the right side of the screen. Under the big logo, you'll see ways that you can sign up for our Barrel Society. We have 3 different tiers, $5, $10, $20, to support the show directly. And we certainly, it's not required, but certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good stuff. That's our YouTube money right there. So good stuff. Well, Kevin, thank you. Thank you for all the updates and doing what you do, the entertainment. I know I'm enjoying it.
Yep.
And it's been fun hanging out with you. You've been our first interview, and here you are 5 years later, still with us. I don't know why, but God bless you.
I don't know that either of us are smart, but we can both say we've been consistent for 5 years. So here we
go. And we've had some damn fine times together, and I appreciate that. So appreciate the friendship and camaraderie over the years, and willingness to get on the podcast with us. So with that, Chris,
we're out.